Her father, 52-year-old Hector Alfaro, had already killed her mother, already killed her 17-year-old sister. Now he was coming for her. He pointed the gun. He pulled the trigger. He missed. Pulled it again. Missed again. And in those misses, one daughter survived to tell a story no child should ever have to tell. This is what happened when a family's worst nightmare became reality. And that's exactly what the Alfaro family looked like from the outside. Hector Lionel Alfaro, 52 years old. Roxana Rodriguez, his wife, 48. 2 daughters, their oldest at 19. And Sienna, just 17. Normal family. Hector was a familiar face on the block. You'd see him around. Nothing seemed off. But here's the thing about this family. They were private. Like, really private. They kept to themselves. They didn't air out their business. Sienna, the 17-year-old, people say she might have gone to Mayfair High School, right down the street from their house. A teenager living her life, going to school, coming home, existing in what should have been a safe space. The oldest daughter, 19 years old, living in that same house, sleeping in her childhood bedroom, probably had dreams, plans, a whole future ahead of her. And Roxana and Hector? They'd built a life together, had these 2 girls, created what looked like a home. But girl, she didn't know it yet, but in one bedroom, her mother, Roxana Rodriguez, was already gone, shot in the upper torso, dead. In another bedroom, her baby sister, Sienna, 17 years old, also shot, also gone. And somewhere in that house, moving through those rooms, was their father, Hector Alfaro, the man who was supposed to protect them, the man who was supposed to keep them safe. He had a gun in his hand, and he wasn't done yet. The 19-year-old daughter, let's be clear about what she walked into. She didn't just wake up to gunfire. She woke up to her father hunting her. Think about that for a second. The man who raised you, the man who was there at every birthday, every milestone, every moment of your life. Now he's walking through your house with a gun, and you're the target. She came out of her room. Maybe she called out. Maybe she froze. We don't know those details.
Hector saw her, his oldest daughter, 19 years old, standing there, and he raised the gun. He fired, missed. Girl, can you imagine? That split second where the bullet goes past you, where you realize your own father just tried to take your life, where your brain is trying to catch up to what your eyes are seeing. But he wasn't done. He aimed again, pulled the trigger a second time, missed again. Now, we don't know if she ran. We don't know if she ducked. We don't know if she screamed or stayed silent. But somehow, by luck, by fate, by whatever you want to call it, those bullets didn't find her. Her mother didn't have that luck. Her sister didn't have that luck. But she did. And then, Hector walked away. He went to the den of the house. That's where he made his final decision. That's where he took the gun. He pulled the trigger one last time. And his oldest daughter, she watched it happen. Watched her father take his own life right there in front of her. Like, how do you process that? How do you make sense of any of this? You can't. There's no making sense of it. Period. By the time it was over, 3 people were dead. Shot in the upper torso. Roxana in one bedroom. Sienna in another. Hector in the den. And one girl was left standing in a house full of death, trying to figure out what she was supposed to do next. The 19-year-old, she came running out of that house, extremely distraught, told them her father shot her mother, shot her sister, tried to shoot her multiple times, but missed. Told them he was dead inside, killed himself right in front of her, Roxana Rodriguez, 48 years old, in one bedroom. Gunshot wounds to her upper torso. Gone. Sienna Alfaro, 17 years old, in another bedroom. Same thing. Gunshot wounds to the upper torso. Gone. Hector Lionel Alfaro, 52 years old, in the den. Dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There is no arrest in this case. There is no trial. Because the person responsible is dead. The surviving daughter was never considered a suspect. She was a victim, a witness to the worst moment of her life. She cooperated with detectives, gave her statement, and then, what? What do you do after that? You go on living, I guess. Somehow, even though your mother is gone, your sister is gone, your father is gone, and you're left carrying the weight of all of it. That's the math of the Alfaro family tragedy. A 17-year-old girl who should have been worrying about homework and prom, not dying in her own bedroom, and a 19-year-old who will spend the rest of her life replaying those moments, the gunshots, the misses, her father's final act, and one girl left standing, trying to make sense of a morning that will never make sense. If you made it this far, I appreciate you being here. These stories aren't easy to tell, and they definitely aren't easy to hear, but they matter. These victims matter, and we're not going to forget them. If this story affected you, whether it made you angry, sad, or just left you with questions, drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts, and if you know someone who needs to hear stories like this, share it with them. Sometimes awareness is the first step to change.